Hi friend, David here from Learn Stage Lighting, and I'm so pumped today because we're going to take the lighting rig we designed in the last video, so if you missed that, check it out here, for band lighting, and really talk about how I sit down and program and set up for playback when it comes to band lighting. Now, this tutorial, if you're new here, is designed to get people who are new with band lighting, programming, and working quickly, okay? And so we're going to cover a lot of things quickly in this video. We're going to talk about, one, the types of things I program and get ready before I start programming. And this is completely console agnostic. We're not showing a console. It doesn't matter what console you use because this is lighting in a nutshell. And then we're going to show you, okay, we're going to talk through the ways that I set up my console for playback, whether I'm running things on the fly and actually an operator in front of the band, or as a lot of people on Learn Stage Lighting that come to us are, you're in a band, you've got to run it from stage, you've got to cue it out song by song and have different cues for your songs. We'll talk about both. So the first thing when it comes to programming is, to start from scratch and basically just clear everything out, right? And build our basic building blocks for our show. Now, depending on what console you're using, what capabilities it has, this may happen in a couple different ways. Okay, but I'm just going to go ahead and just take each set of lights, for example. Like I'll take my moving lights. Okay, so let's turn those all on. And I'm going to define a number of different positions, and whether your console allows you to do this as like a preset or a palette, or whether you're just doing it as you go, it doesn't matter too much. And so I'm going to do like a straight out position on my movers, a nice downstage center, a nice front and center lead vocalist special, X's, have them crossing, point them at the wall if they do that well, point them at the band, use them to blind everybody, and the dance floor for anything out front, like these two lights, okay? So I'm going to do that first with my movers. Usually I work with my movers first just because there's more to do. There's more to program, more to get done. Then I'm going to go ahead and start doing colors. That's usually my next deal, okay? So here we have two types of units. Our spot fixtures, in this case the Illuminator Stealth Spot, though our recommendations may change in the future, have a color wheel. So as I switch between the colors on the color wheel, I get a hard switch. There's not going to be a fade there. And most fixtures are going to allow you to do a split color, though I'm not sure this one is, at least not in the visualizer. It may in real life. We'll program out all those different colors so we have them at our disposal, understanding that with most smaller spot fixtures, you're not going to have color mixing, okay? When you get around, at the time of this recording, about around $2,000 per fixture is where you start to see color mixing in a spot. But it's fairly expensive to do. There's 3 to 4 glass wheels, motors, belts, and a whole assembly to make that happen. So it's a lot. Okay, so we'll do colors there. For anything that color mixes, including all of our front lights here, I have actually both the Jolt blinder fixtures on and the 4-par systems. And, we'll do the same thing there. So we're going to go and we're going to make all of our colors. Some of my fixtures have just red, green, blue. The others have white. So let me just go ahead and kick off those whites real quick so that I can go, and I know I'm doing this the lazy way, and just program all my colors. Now in my mind, there's really like 10 colors that we use in lighting, okay? Sure, you can get more fine with it, but when you're just start with the basics, right? Red, green, blue, then I do yellow, magenta, cyan, nice amber, violet. Go find a violet right about there. Okay, and of course, white. And you can do, if you want to do like a warm white too, hey, totally cool. But that's like 10, 11 colors. That's all you need. So we've done positions, we've done colors, okay? Now for those fixtures that have gobos or zoom or anything like that, I want to have those options available. So for any zoom fixture, especially in band lighting, you can get fancy and put zoom on a fader. There's lots of different ways to manage it in a live show. In the sake of simplicity, if you're just starting out, then guess what? Any fixture with zoom has about 3 zoom angles, right? Sure, you can go narrow, you can go wide, you can go right in the middle. Sure, it's generally anything with a motorized zoom you can get anywhere in here, but let's not overcomplicate it, because when you start to overcomplicate things, it can become overwhelming, and the last thing I want for you is to be overwhelmed in your lighting. I want you to start and get results, get stuff that's cool. You can always fine-tune things later, okay? So that's zoom. Then, say I've got fixtures here like these spots. They have the option to have a prism or no prism, and then they have their gobo patterns as well. And in this fixture, one of the reasons why I like this fixture is the gobos can also rotate, okay? So looks cool on a dance floor, looks really cool on a back wall, looks great when we insert the prism. Though, watch the brightness here. It's going to depend on your fixture if it's bright enough or not, okay? So this is where, in programming, we start to talk about the difference between when we have haze and when we don't have haze, okay? If you do not have haze, then you're not going to see the lovely beams from these spot fixtures, right, going through the air. Okay? On washes like these, often being that they're like kind of a wash beam type fixture, oftentimes if you take them all the way narrow and you're in a pretty dark space, you will see some of that beam without any haze in the air. Just the dust, the various particulate in the air. Feels a little gross when you think about it, but it's just kind of a fact of life. You'll see some of that if you're zoomed in all the way. If you are zoomed out halfway, all the way, without haze, you're not going to see that beam through the air. So keep that in mind. But it's still useful for adding color to the stage, lighting people, etc. Okay, so now that we've kind of covered the baby steps, or the building blocks, the Legos that we use to build different lighting looks, now I want to talk about and really take a shift to programming flow. Okay, so this is where you make the decision. Do I have someone operating the lights, and are they fully focused on that? Or do I have something that's running automated, or maybe I'm clicking it, just clicking forward through cues on a foot pedal? Okay, because this is going to determine how you lay out your console, how you set things up. Let's start with the simpler. So if you're running things in just cue order, basically you've got all these songs in your set list, you build some cues. How do you build cues? Start with, 3 to 4 basic cues per song. That means you're going to have an intro, right? Maybe it's a slow song, we'll start blue, right? So go ahead and grab maybe the fronts to a little desaturated blue. These on. There they are. In this case, I'm just going to turn off the jolt fixtures, and then that blue that I had on those fronts is a little greenish. Give a nice blue, or maybe we give a violet for a slow song, right? I can take my spots, and a lot of times, hey, just start the song without that. Keep it intimate, right? So this could be your first cue. Then you launch into a chorus, right? Maybe that's where you add in, and I'm just going to add a little timing to this. You just add in your spots, right? And so now they fade in for the chorus. Maybe the gobo's rotating, maybe it's not, but you've pre-selected the gobo. Build that into your cue before you turn the light on, so that you don't see this happen as the light fades in, right? That doesn't look great, okay? You've got your chorus. Maybe you take them, and you've got a bridge or something, and this is a slower song. You move them a little, right? You just get a little bit of movement going. Maybe you do the same on these guys. Maybe it's just a little bit of a different move. And we just do a little bit of a tilt thing. Right. And we offset it. Looks nice. Okay. And then you're going to go back to the same cue that you did for the intros, for the verses, same cue for the choruses. When you finish a song, a lot of people will go to a blue. You can turn off your backlights if you want to make it a little more dramatic. You can turn off those gobos, make it a little more dramatic. Stop all your fixtures. Good to go. okay? And so that's how it's going to work if you're programming out by songs, okay? So now I'll turn everybody off again. So if you are programming and you're going to be running lights or someone's going to be running lights, now you have the ability to have a little more fun. In that case, you basically there's a lot of ways you can structure it. You could build full looks that have the different colors, etc., and all the way to as simple as just having a bunch of buttons on a screen or on a controller. Like we love the little ADJWMX1s. They're really cool for this. And just go and say, okay, first I've got just my front lights, right? And I'm going to take them and I'm going to program, just the red, right? And I'm using the 4-par system here so they're not super bright. I'm going to do just the green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow, right? Violet, amber, have that in a row. Then have a row, with the colors for your moving lights, right? So take those, we kick them on, and then we've got all the colors there, right? So we've got the red, just gonna kick off that, right? And I'll just kick them up so we can see them a little bit better. Point them out as well too. Right, so we got the red, we got the green, we got the blue, we got the cyan, the magenta, the yellow, the violet, the amber, right? Make that in a row. Same with the colors on your spots, even though they are a color wheel that steps through, right? So we pop those in, we got all our different colors. You can build all that stuff out in what's called a punt page where you have access to everything. Maybe you've got some faders for the brightness level of everything. You've got a couple buttons with some movements. Done. There's a lot more to that process, though. If you are punting, you are running lights live for a band, we actually have a full course called Puntastical that, just like this video, but in way more depth, we have a step-by-step walkthrough of how to actually punt, how to set up lighting and run it live and on the fly on any console. It's not specific to any particular console. And that's within Learn Stage Lighting Labs. We'll have a link to check that out either here on the screen or below. And with that, I hope this video is helpful for you today in learning how to program, how to kind of lay out a console, really, top level, lay out a console for band lighting. And if you're looking for more, you're looking for exact step-by-step guides on how to do this stuff, etc., then you definitely want to check out Learn Stage Lighting Labs because we have this stuff right there. We also have some band lighting packages on Learn Stage Lighting gear to help get you started so you can get the lights and begin working with this stuff. Whatever we can do, we would love to help either through gear, through the labs. Just give us a ring either by joining the labs, shooting us an email at Learn Stage Lighting Gear. We would love to help you make the lighting of your dreams. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.